Hello and welcome. Our video tutorial today is going to show how to add a custom field to a form in Dynamics and how to populate that field with VBA Code. In order to demonstrate this, we're going to modify the item inquiry form and add the shipping weight field to that form. Let's get started. Open the item inquiry form and then click on Tools, Customize, and Modify Current Window. Once we have that window open, we're going to add two objects. We're going to add a text field, change it to shipping weight, and we're going to add a string field, and now we're going to move it into position using a combination of arrow keys and the arrangement pad off to the left. We click two fields, and then we can align left or align right, make the same size. We can do the same thing with the shipping weight field. Here we're going to align the tops, and then we're going to align the lefts. And now we're going to modify the properties of the label to make it look like the other labels. To do that, we give it a 3D highlight, and we turn the border on. And one other thing that I forgot to do here, we're going to make these two labels the same width. One last task, we're going to modify the name of the field that we just created so that we can easily reference it in VB. And back to Dynamics. This task is going to be setting security to our newly modified forms. In order to do that, we click on Alternate and Modified Forms, choose the default user, choose Microsoft Dynamics, and then choose Windows, hit Tab, and that will bring up the list. Find the form that you modified, choose the modified form, and click Save. In this step, we're going to modify the form so that we're able to use it in VB. First thing we do is we click on Tools, Customize, and Add Current Window to Visual Basic. Next, Tools, Customize, and Add Fields to Visual Basic. We add two fields, the item number field, the shipping weight field, and we hit Escape. That changes the cursor back to the way it looked before. And last, Tools, Customize, Visual Basic Editor, and while we're in the editor environment. Once in the VBA environment, find the form that we need to modify, open it up, and then simply drop in the code that accompanies this article. We'll go over the code in depth in just a second. Another thing that we need to remember to do is to set a reference to a VBA library so that the ADO code will run. So we're going to open Tools, References, and we're going to set a reference to the Microsoft ActiveX Data Objects 2.8 library. Go back to Dynamics and open the form, and let's examine the title bar to be sure that it has a dot before and after the form name, so we know that we're working on a modified form and we can see our field in the bottom right corner. Now we're going to step through a couple of records just to be sure that field populates the way we think it should. Now go over to VBA and put a stop button next to the code that's going to run, and then back to Dynamics and skip through one record, and the code stops here. We're going to use the F8 key to step through the code one line at a time and watch what it does. We check to see if the connection is open, the ADO connection object. And then we keep stepping through the code. The stored procedure is a native dynamic stored procedure that gets one item number. In this line here, we assign the parameter, and we can inspect the parameter and see that it has the right value. The next line executes the command, and in this line we assign the shipping weight to the shipping weight field that we just created on the form, and we're all done.